Welcome to the Spanish Connection, where we're trying to help the English and Spanish worlds communicate. You've spent countless hours and money learning Spanish, practiced until you're blue in the face. Then you see a Hispanic and you finally get the courage up to approach them and talk. You speak, hoping they don't see how nervous you really are. ¿Dónde está el servicio? They look at you with a confused look on their face. They smile and politely say, "Sorry, I no speak English." You want to scream out and say, "But I was speaking Spanish!" Instead, you take a deep breath and repeat, speaking a little louder, hoping that this time they will understand. ¿Dónde está el servicio? They still look at you with a confused look on their face. Don't underestimate the importance and the value of knowing proper pronunciation. Knowing all the Spanish vocabulary in the world will not benefit you if you don't have the correct pronunciation so that you can be understood and so that you can understand others. This is a lesson in learning and practicing Spanish pronunciation. Vamos! Let's begin with the consonants. Las consonantes. Generally, the consonants in Spanish are pronounced more softly. Let's begin by taking a look at the ones that are pronounced differently than the English consonants. Practice saying the words with me. The letter B, be, is pronounced exactly like the letter B in boy when it's at the beginning or at the end of a word, or next to an M or an N. Bueno, boda, alambre. When it's found in the middle of the word, the letter sounds softer and the lips do not meet completely. Abuela. Sábado. The letter C, se, is pronounced with two sounds, just as the letter C in English. When it occurs before an E or an I in the Americas, it sounds like an S. Cinco. Cena. Keep in mind that in some regions of Spain, it's pronounced like a TH. Cinco. Cena. This practice is called el ceceo. When it does not occur before an E or an I, it's pronounced like the C in cat. Codo. Cana. The letter D, de, also has two pronunciations. The hard D sounds similar to the English D, but it's pronounced by touching your tongue to the back of the front teeth rather than onto the ridge of the gum. Dar. Donde. The soft D is pronounced by placing the tongue slightly under the front teeth, producing a sound like the TH in rather. This is done when it occurs intervocalically, that is, between vowels. Idea. Adiós. In the Caribbean, the D at the end of the word is frequently dropped. Edad. The letter G, G, is another letter that has two pronunciations. The hard G is similar to the English hard G, as in get, but slightly softer. Gatto. Gol. Grande. The G is soft when it precedes an E or an I. It is pronounced almost like an English H, but your mouth is not open as wide and the sound comes from further in the back of your throat, almost like you're trying to spit something up. Gente. Giro. The H, H, is tricky because it is almost always silent. Hospital. Hola. Ahogar. If it occurs in an adopted word like Hawaii, it will be pronounced like the English H. The letter J, J, never sounds like the English J. Instead, it's close to the English H sound, but the mouth is not opened as wide so the tongue comes closer to the roof of your mouth. It sounds more like you're trying to spit something up like the Spanish soft G. Jamón. Jalar. Ojal. There is a relaxed J sound in the final letter of the Spanish word reloj. The letter L, by itself is pronounced like the English L. However, a digraph consisting of two consecutive L's, called elle, represents the sound of a different consonant. There is an important difference in the pronunciation of this consonant depending on the different dialects. It can be expressed 4 ways, and it's a common source of disagreement. It can be pronounced like the English Y, calle, or it can be pronounced like a J. This is probably most common, calle. Some regions pronounce it like an L followed by a J, calle. And finally, in South American countries like Uruguay and Argentina, it sounds more like an SH, calle. I suggest you stick to the soft J, as its use is probably more widespread. Calle, lluvia, cuello. The letter N, sounds just like the English letter N. But there is another letter that looks like an N with a tilde over it. The ñ, which sounds like the GN in lasagna, or the NI in onion. Niño, año, baño. The letter Q, sounds like the English K, and it's always followed by a U, which is always silent before an E or an I. Que, quinto, quema. There is no sound like the English R in the Spanish language, so don't use that as a starting point or you'll have a harder time getting to the right sound. The letter R, has 2 distinct sounds which are difficult for some to pronounce. The R is pronounced softly when it's found intervocalically between 2 vowels. This sound is like a soft, quick D, as in the word ladder. Notice it's not ladder, but rather ladder. Aro, era, duro. The second sound is trilled. This occurs when an R is not between 2 vowels. So at the beginning of a word, at the end of a word, and next to a consonant, it is trilled. Keep in mind that the R can be difficult to pronounce in both English and Spanish. Many English speakers as children work with a speech therapist to help pronounce the letter correctly. Likewise, Spanish speakers are not born rolling their R's. It is a learned behavior that with some practice and tenacity can be mastered. Your tongue is a muscle. Muscles can be trained with exercise. Don't give up. Start by placing your tongue on the roof of your mouth like you're going to pronounce the letter D. Now that you have it there, relax it. Let it gently rest in that position. While you keep it there, blow air out of your mouth. Your tongue will flutter if it's relaxed. Once you have the flutter mastered, you can begin to pronounce the R sound by turning on your voice. In other words, make your vocal cords vibrate. Try these words with me. Radio, comer, enorme. Let's talk about the importance of the pronunciation of the R's a little bit more. Because the English R sound doesn't exist, it can be difficult to understand what you mean if you don't pronounce the R correctly. Let's look at the words pero and perro. If we pronounce them with an English R, the words are identical. Pero, perro. However, the first one, pero, means except or but. And the second one with a trilled R, perro, means dog. These are not the only words that have this problem. Here are a couple more examples. Repeat after me. Caro and carro. cero, and cerro. See what I mean? The letter S, ese, in standard Spanish is voiceless and sounds like the S in the English word sí. Santo, los, eso. But when an S is followed by a voiced consonant, such as a B, a D, M, N, L, R, or a V, it's pronounced like a very soft Z sound. The S sound changes because it's blending into the sound that follows it. Desde, esmeralda, asno. In some areas of southern Spain, it's turned into a fricative sound. And in the Caribbean, it can be aspirated like an H. In some Central and South American countries, the S is aspirated at the end of a syllable. Usted. Eso. In English, the letter T is pronounced much stronger. The tongue touches the roof of the mouth. However, in Spanish, the T, te, is pronounced with the tongue touching the top teeth where they meet the gums. Consequently, the Spanish T is softer or less explosive, like the T in the English word step. Tan, meta, robot. The letter V, V, is pronounced exactly like the Spanish letter B. There is no distinction. It is stronger when it's at the beginning or at the end of a word or next to an M or an N. Venta, anverso, viento. Like the letter B, when it's found in the middle of the word, the sound is softer and the lips do not meet completely. Ave, óvulo, uva. The W, or W, does not have a fixed sound because the W is not native to Spanish. It is found only in the words of foreign origin. Whiskey, web. The letter X, X, sounds like the X in box when it occurs intervocalically or at the end of a word. Éxito, axila. If it occurs at the beginning of the word, it sounds like an S. Xilófono, xenophilia. In a few cases, especially proper nouns coming from an indigenous American language, the X is pronounced archaically, like an H, or an S, or an SH, or a CH. México, Xochitl, Michiote. The Y, is pronounced like the Y in Teddy when it's used as a vowel. Boy, soy. As a consonant, it's like the double L, elle, and it has two common sounds. Depending on the regional dialect, the Y might sound like the English Y in the word yes, yo, or it can be like the J in the English word joy, yo. Lastly, in South American countries like Uruguay and Argentina, it sounds more like an SH, yo. I suggest you stick to the soft J, as its use is probably more widespread. Yo, mayo. The letter Z, zeta, is never pronounced like the English Z. The Z in the Americas always sounds like an S. Paz, azteca, cebra. In Spain, it is pronounced like a TH. Paz, azteca, cebra. Now let's look at the vowels. Las vocales. Fortunately, unlike English, the vowels have only one pronunciation each, and they are pronounced just as they are named. With the exception of the U, they are never silent. Let's see how they are pronounced. The letter A, is pronounced like the A in father. Pan. tapa, cama. The letter E, is pronounced like the E in egg. Ven, bebé, té. The letter I, E, is pronounced like the I in machine. Sí, fin, tipi. The letter O, is pronounced like the O in tone. No, pon, mono. The letter U, is pronounced like the U in rule. Tú, busca, gusto. The letter U is silent when it follows the Q, and together they sound like the English K before an E or an I. Quema, quito. The U is also silent, following the G before an E and an I. The purpose of the U in that case is to change the pronunciation of the G, which would otherwise be pronounced as a soft G. Guión, guerra. However, there are some instances when the U occurs between the G and the vowels E or I, but it's not silent and does need to be pronounced. In that case, the U is written with an umlaut or diéresis above it. Pingüino, bilingüe. Follow these rules, and before you know it, you'll be saying, ¿Dónde está el servicio? Like a native fluent speaker. And you will enjoy the fruits of your labor as you hear the native speakers respond to your question with ease. Pase, a la derecha. If this pronunciation guide has been helpful, please click like, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more Spanish language resources. Hasta luego!